Okay, next in our one-on-one series for D&D, we're going to talk about the dice of Dungeons & Dragons. Hey, welcome back to Fits the Game, your source for news, reviews, and how-tos for Dungeons & Dragons. If those things sound good to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Without further ado, let's start talking about some dice. Okay, so a set of dice that you would use in Dungeons & Dragons is a set of 7 dice. As I mentioned in my 5 things that you need for D&D, you don't necessarily need to have the dice. There's lots of free apps and stuff like that available if you're just starting out, but you'll learn over time. Most people tend to go crazy about the dice. It's good to have a lot of dice on hand. If you need to do higher, as you get up higher in levels, you do more damage, and as you roll your dice, it's nice to have the number of dice that you need to roll all at once. Just kind of speeds along gameplay. But like I said, to get started, just a single set of dice or a dice app would be fine. A full set of dice that you'll use in Dungeons & Dragons consists of 7 pieces. Usually whenever people refer to the dice, they just take the letter D and they stick it in front of the number of sides that the dice has. For instance, a typical dice that you use with most games is referred to as a D6. Because it is a die, it's a single die, obviously, that's where the D comes from, and then it has 6 sides, giving us the name D6. So in a full set, you have a D4. This isn't used all that often, usually it's just damage rolls for certain attacks or certain spells. Then we have the D6. This one is used probably a little bit more. You use this bit mostly when making your characters, if you decide to roll your stats, but we'll get into that in a future video. After that, we have a D8, which is basically the same as 2 D4s stacked on top of one another, giving us 8 sides. Then we have our D10, this strange pyramid-looking thing. I'm hoping that's focusing. The D10 consists of 10 sides. There's a 0 on here. The 0 is your 10. Then next we have a D12, a boxier looking dice with 12 sides. Then we have the dice that you're going to use the most often, which is our D20. Now the D20 is the one you're going to use the most. The actual Dungeons and Dragons game is built on what's called a D20 system. So most of the time whenever you try to do something to interact with the world, or whenever the DM asks you to do something, such as when you begin a fight, whenever you're attacking a monster, whenever you're just trying to jump a large chasm, almost everything you try to do will be decided by this dice, the D20. And then after that, the last piece in the set, not every set of dice that you'll get will come with this dice. This is called a percentile die. So this goes all the way up to 00. Okay, so as I was editing this video together, I realized that my breakdown of the percentile die wasn't exactly as clear and as robust as I thought it should be. So I wanted to add a little bit more detail to the percentile die. So every time you roll a percentile die, you'll roll it in tandem with your D10. The two numbers together will give you your result. If you roll let's say a 70 here and a 2 on the D10, your result is 72, or I think it should be like this actually. The result is going to be 72. But you'll also notice on here, on the percentile die, there's double zeros. If you roll double zeros, actually I'm going to switch these around so they come out proper in the camera. If you roll double zeros on the percentile die and a 0 on the D10, that result is 100. If you roll any other number on the D10, let's say a 2, along with the double zeros, that means you rolled a 2. You disregard the number over here, because your result is always going to be between 1 and 100. You're never going to roll 102 on a table unless the DM states it, but usually when all the tables that are available in the books where you'll be rolling on, they're all between 1 and 100, so you're never going to need to put anything over that together. Plus, if you didn't do the double zeros with the single digit to get the numbers from 1 to 9, you'd never be able to roll those numbers. So I just wanted to make this short video just to kind of demystify the die, just to kind of give you a explanation. If you never played any sort of role-playing game, if the only other type of game that you've played before are typical board games that only come with your D6, I just wanted to give you a simple breakdown of the other options you're going to see, so that whenever you get your die or your dice, it doesn't seem too strange and weird, and just to kind of, so you can sit at the table and start speaking the lingo right off the bat. Well, I hope this video was helpful to someone. If you know someone who is just getting in to not only tabletop role-playing games, but maybe gaming in general, feel free to share this video with them. If you think this is helpful in any way, please give us a thumbs up. If you have any other things related to dice that you think I should talk about for new players, leave a comment below. And as always, if you want to see more of our videos, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified whenever our videos go live, just go ahead and ring the bell beside the subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you in the next one.